Okay, so we are diving deep today into the wild world of Kanye and his new album, Bully.
Yeah, this release has been anything but normal.
It's like he's decided to rewrite the rules of how to drop an album. I mean, just starting with how it all came out.
Yeah, where do we even begin?
He just drops this 45-minute short film, middle of the night on X.
It's certainly a choice.
It's definitely a choice, like starring his son, Sate West. I mean...
Not your typical album rollout, for sure.
Not at all. And then there's this whole thing on Tuesday, March 18th. There were like 3 different versions of the album floating around.
Oh yeah, I heard about this, the screening version, the post-hype version, and then the post-hype version.
Yeah, exactly. And then by the next morning, poof, 2 of the links are gone.
Vanished like they never existed.
Exactly, except for this one lone link that somehow survived.
Makes you wonder what was going on behind the scenes.
It really does. And that's what we're trying to figure out today. Like, is there some method to all this madness? Or is it just pure Kanye being Kanye?
Right, because you have to wonder if it was planned or just accidental.
Yeah, like, did he mean to do it this way, or was it a mistake? But, I mean, I guess with Kanye, you never really know.
Exactly. I mean, it's Kanye we're talking about here.
So, to try to make sense of it all, we reached out to PR expert Jared Shapransky. He's the co-founder of Moment Lab Agency, and he had some pretty strong opinions about this whole thing.
Oh, yeah. I read his comments to the Mirror US. He didn't hold back.
Not at all. He basically said if an album drops on a shadow banned Twitter account in the middle of the night, did it even drop?
I mean, he does have a point, especially with Kanye's history on social media.
For sure. And just to clarify, for anyone who might not know, shadow banning is basically when a social media platform like makes your posts less visible without actually telling you.
Right, so it's like you're shouting into the void.
Exactly. And Shapransky really doesn't think anyone is paying attention anymore, even Kanye's core fans.
He actually said that Kanye could release a new album every day for the rest of the year and no one would care.
Ouch. That's gotta sting.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh, but it does make you think about how much Kanye's controversies have impacted how people view his music.
Right, and Shapransky basically said, it's all just too much, the unhinged tweeting, the constant drama. He thinks people are just over it.
So he's saying the album is meaningless because of all the baggage that comes with it?
Yeah, pretty much. He's like, Kanye's done everything he's done up until now, and people have reached their limit.
That's a pretty bleak outlook.
It is,
Yeah.
But it's definitely a perspective worth considering. Like, can you really separate the art from the artist? Especially when the artist is as controversial as Kanye.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Now, to be fair, this whole X drop wasn't the first time we heard Bully Kanye actually previewed some of the tracks back in September 2024 at a live listening event in China.
Oh, wow, in China. That's interesting.
Yeah, in Haiku, to be exact. So it's not like this album just materialized out of nowhere.
I guess that makes this X drop even weirder, right? Like, why even do the listening event if you're just going to do this?
It's true. It's like he had a plan and then just completely scrapped it.
And the China event suggests he was at least trying to go a more traditional route.
Yeah, for a while at least, but I guess something changed along the way.
So at this event in China, Kanye actually performed a track called Beauty and the Beast.
And people who were there said it had these really infectious beats, but the lyrics were pretty introspective.
Almost like he knew he was going down a path that could alienate people.
Yeah, there's this one lyric that really stood out. He says, I still think about it every night and day to try to stay away to keep my audience going. Don't take this disrespect. I'm sitting here trying to re-die.
Wow, trying to re-die. What do you think he means by that?
I don't know. It's hard to say, but it does sound like he was aware of the potential consequences of his actions, even back then.
Like maybe he was trying to repair his image or change direction, but then things went off the rails again.
Yeah, then just a few days before this whole X thing, Kanye shares the album cover.
This is the swastika one, right?
Yeah, red swastika on a black background caption. New album cover.
You know, you have to wonder what he was thinking.
I know, right? It's like he knew it would cause outrage, but he did it anyway.
And I mean, come on, it's a swastika. You can't just casually use that symbol.
No, not at all. It's a symbol of hate. It represents Nazism, anti-Semitism, white supremacism, the Holocaust.
You can't just try to reclaim that or give it some hidden meaning.
Yeah, which is what Kanye reportedly claimed. He said there was a hidden meaning behind it, but like, come on.
It's just not a good look no matter how you try to spin it.
So after all this controversy, the album actually does come out sort of. It's this expanded version on YouTube called Bully V1.
Oh, so it's like a music video, but longer?
Yeah, pretty much. And
Yeah.
despite everything the album covered, the weird release, it's still got a ton of views.
Really? How many are we talking?
Like 1.4 million views.
Yeah.
And it even hit the top of YouTube's trending page in the US.
So maybe people were curious despite all the drama.
It seems that way. It's like they couldn't resist seeing what Kanye would do next.
It's like a train wreck. You can't look away.
Exactly. And the video itself is full of these wrestling visuals.
Wrestling visuals. Okay, now that's interesting.
I know, right? I'm not sure what it all means, but it's definitely eye-catching.
It's Kanye. He always has to keep us guessing.
Okay, so while all this is happening, Kanye's usual social media rants seem to die down for a bit.
Oh, wow. So maybe he's finally learned to keep quiet.
Don't get your hopes up. It didn't last long.
Figures.
But DJ Akademiks is saying there's a Kanye interview coming out soon, maybe even with a part 2 filmed in Japan.
Really? So Kanye's back at it.
Oh yeah, and Akademiks even suggested that anyone who's been called out by Kanye should just confront him directly.
That would be interesting to see.
Right, and that Kanye goes on this whole rant about Kendrick Lamar.
Oh no, what did he say this time?
He called Kendrick a good kid from a mad city, but then started saying that someone named Lucian went too far with Kendrick's music.
Who's Lucian?
I have no idea. But apparently Kanye thinks he's behind Kendrick somehow, and then he brings up Playboi Carti, saying his music was his favorite until he heard Kendrick on it.
So is he dissing Kendrick or praising him? It's hard to tell.
Right. And then he starts talking about these albums that supposedly underperformed before and after something called Not Like Us, and ends with Lucian send help.
It's like trying to decode a secret message.
It really is. And then you have FKA Twigs and Northwest collaborating on a track called Childlike Things.
Oh, wow, that's unexpected.
Yeah, and it sounds like it could actually be good. But then there are reports that Kanye was really upset when he found out Playboi Carti asked Kim Kardashian for North's vocals.
So he's okay with FKA Twigs working with North, but not Playboi Carti.
It's Kanye logic. I don't think it makes sense to anyone else.
Makes you wonder how Kim and Kanye navigate all this co-parenting stuff with their kids getting involved in the music industry.
Seriously, it's like their family drama is playing out on a global stage.
Not exactly a healthy environment for raising kids.
Not at all. And to top it all off, we still don't know if Bully will ever get a proper release on streaming platforms.
Right, because so far it's just been this X thing and the YouTube video.
Yeah. Kanye has mentioned North's birthday, June 15th, 2025, as a possible date for a full release. But who knows if that will actually happen?
It's like he's holding the album hostage.
Maybe he's just waiting to see how much more chaos he can cause before then.
Well, he's certainly succeeded in that so far.
So to recap, we have an unconventional release, a PR expert who thinks it's all meaningless, a preview event in China, a swastika album, cover a YouTube video that went viral, and a whole lot of Kanye being Kanye.
It's been a wild ride, that's for sure.
And it really makes you think about the state of the music industry and how fans consume music today.
Right, like does all the drama actually matter, or are people just interested in the music regardless of the artist's behavior?
It's a tough question, and I don't think there's an easy answer.
Maybe it's a case-by-case thing, or maybe we're just living in a time where controversy sells.
It's definitely something to ponder, and for all of you listening, I want you to think about this. Can you really separate the art from the artist, especially in today's world where everything is so interconnected and public?
It's a question we all have to grapple with, and there's no right or wrong answer.
It's about figuring out what you're comfortable with and what your own values are.
And maybe that's the most important takeaway from all of this.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Well, that about wraps it up for our deep dive